Hi, welcome to English Composition. I'm Michael Chang. I'm with Cher Chen, and back there's another guy.
好，各位同学大家好，欢迎来到英文作文课程。我是 Cher， 在我身边的是郑老师，还有在我们身后呢，是我们今天要为各位同学讲解的一个主角哦。各位同学也可以看到他，我们等一下再来为各位同学介绍他。
All right, and so today we're going to write, our topic is writing a description of a person. And so we're going to write about a person who's very well known in Taiwan, and this is obviously the famous basketball player Jeremy Lin.
好，我们今天呢这一课的主题哦，主要是要来教各位同学如何去描述一个人。那我们选择了一个在台湾最近引起一个旋风的一个非常有名的人物哦。那各位同学，也就是刚刚在后面陪伴我们的这位林书豪。
And I think that every person in Taiwan has stories to tell about how excited they were during the Linsanity event that was happening in 2012.
我们相信呢，其实每一个台湾人现在都应该有这段记忆哦。在2012年这个所谓的林书豪的这个 Linsanity 旋风哦开始的时候呢，每个人都有那一段记忆，哇，那真是太疯狂了。
And then we can see some videos now of Jeremy Lin when he was here in Taiwan for some different events.
好，我们现在先来看一点点影片，我们可以看看林书豪到访台湾的时候是掀起了什么样的旋风。
白色帽子、灰色外套 ，NBA 球星林书豪回到故乡。
谢谢大家来看我。
发送小篮球跟签名照。
When I was actually in Beijing when Linsanity was happening, and I can remember being so excited every day. And just hoping that the Knicks would win, even though he doesn't play for my hometown team. I actually hoped that he would win.
And what is your hometown team?
And so I'm from Cleveland, and so I'm a Cleveland Cavalier fan, actually.
So you actually want the Knicks to win just because Jeremy Lin?
Yeah, I was really a big fan.
Wow, that's insanity. 刚刚老师呢就提到说，当我们当初林来疯发生的时候，2012年哦，老师人正在北京哦。但是呢，其实那个时候呢，老师啊，他虽然说他的家乡是来自这个俄亥俄州的克利夫兰哦，那老师呢，他的这个应该是要支持自己家乡的球队，也就是克利夫兰骑士队的。但是呢，其实呢，老师啊，却是这个时候呢，却为了这个林书豪哦，为了这个林来疯哦，却是强烈的支持，希望那个尼克队呢能够要赢得每一场比赛。哇，你看这个就是我们所谓的这个Linsanity，也就是所谓的林来疯的一个热潮了。
And Cher, how about you share some of your feelings when Linsanity was happening?
OK，当这个林书豪是旋风发生的时候呢，哇，我真的那时候好兴奋哦。在那个时间呢，因为每次比赛的时候呢，都是这个在台湾的白天的时间哦，那是美国的晚上嘛。那通常那一段时间呢，我都刚好是在这个学校正在授课的时候哦，那我都会跟学生讲说，快，下课的时候帮老师看一下，上网看一下，现在是哪一队赢了哦。那老师上课呢都是非常兴奋哦，没办法专心哦。这个也是这个我的林书豪的这个Linsanity 的一个经验啦，一个 experience。
All right, so now let's go back to our essay. And we picked Jeremy Lin to be the topic of our essay because we wanted to write about someone who everyone would be familiar with.
好，那为什么我们今天要选择林书豪来当做这一课的这个写作范例呢？那当然，我们希望能够选择一个各位同学都认识的人，这样子当我们写作起来的时候呢，同学比较可以能够有进一步的理解。
But we also want to write about someone who had a special story and could also be inspirational.
好，那同时呢，我们选择林书豪还有一个原因哦，因为这个人呢，他很特别，而且呢，他是能够带给我们启发我们一些灵感的。
And so why don't we start off by talking about some of the ways that Jeremy Lin is very unique or very special?
好，那我们首先呢，先来谈一谈为什么我们会觉得林书豪他非常的特别，而且非常的跟别人与众不同呢？
And so one of the ways that he's different is that he is an Chinese American.
好，那首先第一点最明显的就是他其实是一个这个亚裔的这个美国人哦，那他是来自于台湾的。
And then also, he's very different from other Asian basketball players. And so, normally in the US, when you think of these Asian or these Chinese basketball players, you think of somebody like Yao Ming, and then he's very successful because he's so big.
好，那这样我们平常呢听到这种所谓的亚洲的球员的时候，我们可能第一个想到的就会是必须要长得很高啊。那像是姚明那他非常的有名，非常的成功，就是主要是因为他的身高哇，这是万里长城，对不对？我们说姚明就是一种长城那他因为他很高的关系。
And then what makes Jeremy Lin very different is that he's a guard, which means that he has to compete against the quickest basketball players in the NBA.
好，那但是为什么让林书豪跟姚明不一样呢？因为林书豪他其实打的位置是所谓的后卫那他的其实呢他这个必须要和其他这些很敏捷的这些美国职篮的这些选手呢做一些比较，做一些这个争斗那对他来说也是非常不容易的。
And then another thing that's special about Jeremy Lin, or something that makes him very inspirational, is that when he graduated from Harvard, he actually didn't have the skills to be a successful NBA player, but he worked hard enough in order to develop those skills.
好，那另外一件让我们觉得说真是很受启发的一件事呢，是因为林书豪他当从这个哈佛大学毕业的时候呢，他其实并不具备在能够进入美国职篮的这个技能那他非常非常的努力，非常非常的认真，以至于最终呢，他终于能够在这个美国职篮 NBA 里面呢获得一席之地，这都是让人觉得非常感动的。
All right. So what we want to do before we get to the writing model is go over some vocabulary that will be important to know.
好，那在我们开始讲述这个写作范例之前呢，我们先带各位同学来看一些重要的字那帮助同学能够理解我们待会来讲的这个写作范例。
And the first word that we're going to look at is stereotype.
好 ，stereotype 这个字呢，指的是刻板印象。我们通常说刻板印象呢，常常是会针对某个人的这个阶级或者是国籍或者是他的一些职业所产生的一些既定的印象，就叫做刻板印象。
All right. Our next word is an ideal.
好，下一个字呢，我们在这里指的是一个理想的状态the best or the most appropriate type 就是我们心中最理想、最好的一个状态。
Right now, the next word that we want to look at is to overcome.
好，下一个字呢，我们这里讲的是战胜或是克服的意思。
Right now, when we talk about stereotypes, these are often negative. And as we read the essay later, pay attention to how Lin did not fit the image of what the ideal basketball player is like.
好，我们刚刚提到了这几个单字，我们可以把它做一个连接。通常呢，我们提到刻板印象的时候呢，我们指的都是比较负面的印象。那我们等一下呢，在看这个写作范例的时候，各位同学就可以特别去注意一下，在林书豪呢，这是怎么样的跟这个我们大家理想中的所谓的美国职篮球星不一样，而以至于造成就是这样子的刻板印象造成的。
And so Jeremy Lin had to overcome stereotypes that Asians are not athletic in order to play basketball in college and the NBA.
好，那对林书豪来说呢，他必须要去战胜这样子的一个刻板印象的概念跟限制然后呢，他才能够真正的进入在美国职篮去打球。
Right now, let's quickly take a look at 3 more vocabulary words.
好，我们接下来快速的再看过3个单字。
And the first word that we're going to look at is to transform.
好，第一个单字呢是动词，它指的是去改变的意思。
All right, the next word is an icon.
好，下一个字是个名词，它指的意思是一个偶像。
And then the last word is to inspire.
好，下一个字是动词，它指的是去鼓舞、去激励的意思。
And so what you want to do is, in the essay and the writing model later, keep an eye out for how Lin transforms himself into a better basketball player. And when he does this, he becomes an icon and an inspiration.
好，我们在这里呢，请各位同学要注意一下。到我们在刚刚等一下讲这个写作范例的时候呢，你会发现林书豪他是怎么样的去改变他自己，让他变成一个更好的这个篮球的明星篮球的球员，而且呢，他怎么样到最后成为了大家心目中的偶像跟一个灵感的来源。
All right, let's take a break now. We will be back with the writing model after the short break we're going to take.
好，我们现在先休息一下，待会回来呢，我们再来好好的看看林书豪这个故事。
All right, so we're going to take some time now to read the writing model.
好，欢迎各位同学回来。接下来呢，我们会花点时间，好好的来看一下这个写作范例它很长不过呢，它可以告诉我们很清楚的林书豪的故事。
And before we read this to you, make sure that you watch out for how Jeremy Lin had to overcome stereotypes, and he also transformed himself to become an icon and inspire.
好，那当然，我们待会儿在看的时候呢，同学千万别忘了，应该要把你的注意力放在，第一个林书豪是怎么样去战胜这些刻板印象的阻碍，以及他怎么样去改变他自己，让他自己最后成为了偶像以及激励人心的一个对象。
All right, so now let's read the writing model now.
好，我们现在来看一看写作范例。
Jeremy Lin.
林书豪，
Jeremy Lin, the son of Taiwanese immigrants, was the star of his high school basketball team. And then he fulfilled the dream of every parent. He attended Harvard University.
身为台湾华裔家庭之子，林书豪在高中时就是篮球队校队的明星，而且他达成了每个父母都会有的心愿，进入了哈佛大学就读。
However, a Harvard education was not the true dream of Jeremy Lin. His real desire was to play in the NBA.
然而，哈佛大学的教育并不是林书豪真正的梦想所在，他真实的渴望是进入美国职篮去打球。
To reach his goal and to become an icon that has inspired millions, Lin needed to overcome stereotypes and work constantly to improve.
为了达成这个梦想，成为一个启发千万人的偶像，林书豪必须要克服美国人的刻板印象，以及不断的努力求进步。
The ideal basketball player stands over 200 centimeters in height and has the strength of a titan, but he can still run like the wind and jump like a kangaroo.
理想中的篮球员应该至少要有200公分高，而且呢，他要有着像泰坦力士一般的力气，但同时还能够跑得像风一样快，跳得像袋鼠一样高。
Jeremy Lin met none of these stereotypes, and additionally, he had to overcome stereotypes associated with being Asian American in order to get his chance to play in the NBA.
林书豪的条件跟这些美国职篮球星该有的刻板印象完全不同。此外，他还得克服外界对于亚洲球星的既定印象，才有机会去跻身于美国职篮的行列。
When most Westerners imagine an Asian American, they see a short, slim, bespectacled person that is good at math, not an elite athlete who plays in the NBA.
大多数的西方人想到了亚洲华裔，印象都是身材短小、体格瘦弱、戴着眼镜，而且呢数学能力很强，绝对呢不会是一个美国职篮球员应该要有的精锐分子的样子。
If an Asian does play in the NBA, he has to be a giant, like Yao Ming, who stood 229 centimeters tall and dwarfs the 191 centimeter Lin.
如果亚洲人真的要参加美国职篮，他必须呢要是像姚明这样一个229公分高的巨人，而不是只有192公分高的林书豪。
In addition, Lin lacked the elite quickness and strength of a top basketball prospect and failed to receive a single college athletic scholarship offer.
除此之外，林书豪缺乏成为一个顶尖球员的速度以及力量，因此他没有获得任何一所大学提供的运动员奖学金。
Rejected by his dream schools, UCLA and Stanford, Lin chose to pay for his own education at Harvard, where the coach promised him a spot on the team.
他梦想中的学校包括了加州大学、洛杉矶分校以及史丹福大学，都拒绝了林书豪的申请。林书豪只好选择去哈佛完成他的学业，因为哈佛大学的篮球教练答应他要在球队给他一个位置。
Reaching Harvard was just the first of many steps to NBA stardom. Lin still had much work to do. As a freshman at Harvard, Lin was physically the weakest guy on the team.
进入哈佛只是成为美国职篮明星许多步骤的一部分而已。林书豪依然有很多工作要做。身为哈佛大学大一的新鲜人，林书豪在生理上成为全队最弱的那个小子。
However, Lin worked hard to improve his strength and skill until he became the best player in the Ivy League.
然而，林书豪更加的努力去增进他的力气以及技巧，终于成为常春藤联盟学校中最棒的球员。
After graduating from Harvard, Lin joined his hometown Golden State Warriors, but rarely played in games.
从哈佛毕业之后，林书豪加入了他家乡当地的球队，也就是金州勇士队，但是却很少有机会能够上场打球。
However, practicing with an NBA team helped him to improve his basketball skills, and once the season ended, Lin began to transform his body into an NBA body.
然而，和真正的美国职篮球星练球，大大的增进了他的球技。当赛季结束，林书豪开始将他的身体真正的朝美国职篮球星的身体状况做了调整。
He put on 7 kilograms of muscle and improved his speed, quickness, and vertical leap.
他增加了7公斤的肌肉，而且也增加了速度、敏捷度以及垂直跳跃的能力。
Unfortunately, Lin was cut by the Warriors just before the start of the 2011 NBA season. Lin wondered if his NBA career was over, but later he was signed by the New York Knicks.
不幸的是，林书豪在2011年美国职篮赛季开始之前就被金州勇士队给剔除了。当时林书豪担心着他的美国职篮的生涯是不是就此结束了，但他接着就与纽约尼克队签约。
Lin sat on the bench watching his bad team full of high-priced stars lose 11 out of 13 games.
林书豪坐在板凳上，看着这个糟糕的团队，明明充满了高价请来的球员明星，却在13场比赛中输掉了11场。
Finally, the coach, desperately looking for a spark to turn around the team, gave Lin a chance to play on February 4, 2012.
最后，在2012年2月4号，已经无计可施，正在期待着最后一丝希望的教练，给了林书豪一个上场打球的机会。
Grabbing this chance, Lin used his increased athleticism to score 25 points and lead the Knicks to a victory over the New Jersey Nets.
抓紧这难得的契机，林书豪运用他精进的运动竞赛能力，获得了25分，并且带领了纽约尼克队胜过了纽泽西篮网队。
This was the first of 7 straight wins by the Knicks and the creation of the legend of Lin's sanity.
而这场胜利是接下来尼克队7连胜的第一场，也是林来疯传奇的开始。
Jeremy Lin's success during this winning streak made him a hero and inspiration.
林书豪在这场胜利顺风中的成功，让他成为了英雄以及大家崇拜的灵感来源。
All across Taiwan, cheering fans glued themselves to their televisions for each Knicks game, waiting to see the next astounding play Lin would make.
整个台湾的球迷们欢欣鼓舞，挤在电视机前面观赏尼克的比赛，等待着下一次林书豪让人惊叹的表现。
Across the USA, Asian Americans felt proud to see Lin break the nerd stereotype.
整个美国里头，亚裔们也对于林书豪能够打破亚洲人书呆子的错误印象而感到非常的骄傲。
Lin continues to inspire Asians across the world as he travels to meet his fans in Taiwan and China during the NBA offseason.
在赛季之后，林书豪造访了台湾跟大陆，持续地感动了当地的球迷。
By showing us how his hard work and drive to improve can lead to success, Jeremy Lin is an inspiration. He shows us that we can all overcome stereotypes and fulfill our dreams.
借由显示出他的努力和坚持，如何让他走向成功的例子，林书豪成为人们的鼓励的力量。他让我们看见，我们可以克服刻板印象，并且完成我们的梦想。
All right, we're going to take a little bit of a break now. When we come back from the break, we will talk about some of the features of this essay.
好，我们现在呢，先让各位同学休息一下，待会回来我们再来针对这个写作范例呢的一些特色呢做些讲解。
Welcome back. Let's take a look at this essay. We're going to examine some of the features and see what we can learn about writing.
好，欢迎各位同学回来。现在呢，我们来仔细的看一下这个写作范例，看看我们可以从中学到什么样的写作技巧呢？
And we're going to start by looking at the introductory paragraph.
好，首先呢，我们先来看一下这个写作范例哦，它的这个开头引言段落。
And so you can see we start here with this image of a dream.
好，我们可以从发现了这个第一个段落呢，我们看到的是用一个 dream， 用一个梦想来作为这整个段落的开头。
And so, but what we do is we try to put a twist into this dream. We use this dream to catch attention, but then we say how this is not Jeremy Lin's real dream, and he has a different dream from going to Harvard. His dream is to play in the NBA.
好，在这里我们看到梦想呢，但其实啊，这个作者呢，我们却是在这用梦想这个字来玩了一个小小的转折。那梦想并不是林书豪真正想要的那样东西，他真正想要的其实是进入这个美国职篮去真正的去打篮球。
And then another feature of paragraph 1 is that at the end of it, we have the thesis statement of our essay.
好，那另外呢，在开头引言段落，各位同学应该都没有忘了我们在开头引言段落的最后要加上所谓的主旨论述。
And this thesis statement introduces the main themes that we're going to cover in our essay.
好，那主旨论述呢，它主要的目的当然就是为了要让我们知道这整个文章里头最主要要讲的目的是什么这是一个概论的部分。
And the first theme is that Lin had a goal to reach.
好，那我们可以看到的第一个呢，从这个主旨论述中可以看到，林书豪他有一个目标要达成。
The second theme is that Lin became an icon.
第二件事呢，就是林书豪他变成了一个偶像。
Third theme is Lin inspired millions.
第三件事我们看到的是林书豪他启发了100万的人。
The fourth is that Lin needed to overcome stereotypes.
第四点呢，林书豪他需要战胜刻板印象。
And the last theme is Lin needed to work constantly to improve.
最后一点呢，是林书豪他需要不断的努力以求精进。
And now let's go and take a look and see how some of these themes appear in the following paragraphs of the essay.
好，我们接下来呢，就针对我们刚刚讲到的这5件事情来看一下，这整篇文章之中是从哪些地方去把这5件事情做一个印证呢？
So now let's take a look at paragraph 2.
好，我们首先来看了一下这个第2段的部分。
And in this paragraph, the main theme is that is all about the idea of stereotypes.
好，我们发现第2段呢，整段都在讲这个以刻板印象为主轴
And we see something about what the stereotype of an ideal basketball player is.
好，我们可以看到人们心目中对于理想的篮球员的刻板印象是什么。
We also see a stereotype about Asian Americans.
好，我们也看到了对于典型亚洲球员的一个刻板印象是什么。
And then we also have a stereotype of what the typical Asian basketball player is like.
好，我们可以看到了大家对于这个什么典型的亚洲球员、亚裔美国人他是有什么样的看法。
And there's also one other sentence that we see in the middle of this paragraph that reads, in order to get his chance to play in the NBA.
好，我们在第2段中看到有一个句子说，为了要获得进入 NBA 打球的机会。
And this is related to another one of the themes, which is that Lin had a goal that he wanted to reach, and his goal was to become an NBA basketball player.
其实这句话呢，就呼应了我们刚刚提到的第1点，林书豪有个目标要达成，这个目标就是他希望进入 NBA 打球。
Now let's go on and take a look at the third paragraph of the essay.
好，我们来看一下第3段的部分。
And the main theme of this paragraph is how Lin worked hard to improve.
好，第3段呢，他只专注呢在讲述林书豪他怎么样去精进自己。
And we see here there's mention of how Lin worked hard to improve his strength and skill when he was at Harvard.
我们可以看到林书豪在哈佛念书的时候，他怎么样辛勤的练习才努力。
And we see the result of his hard work, which is he became the best player in the Ivy League.
好，我们也因此看到了他这样专注投入的结果，也就是他变成了常春藤联盟中最棒的球员。
And then next we have more information about how Lin worked hard while he was a member of the NBA's Golden State Warriors.
接着呢，我们还看到当林书豪加入金州勇士队时，他一样去努力的锻炼自己。
And then the result here was that he started to transform his body into an NBA body.
好，那这造成的结果呢，就是他开始将自己的身体变成 NBA 球星该有的体魄。
And then we can also see that there's more about the theme of reaching his goal in this paragraph.
好，那最后呢，我们可以看到林书豪他是怎么样达到这个目标
And so, for example, it says that there were many steps. Let's see, it says this is the first of many steps to NBA stardom, and this is implying that he knows where he wants to go.
好，那我们比如说，我们可以看到他说这是他的第1步，要成为 NBA 球星的第1步。那由此我们可以看到林书豪呢，他其实是知道要怎么样去达成这个目标的。
And then finally, as we go on and take a look at the end of it, it talks about Lin becoming an icon. It says Lin's fame gets emphasized at the end of this, where we have the phrase legend of Linsanity.
好，那在第3段结尾的地方呢，提到说林书豪他已经变成一个偶像了。那林书豪这个偶像呢，我们可以从最后一句话看到出来，他说他是这个 creation of legends of Linsanity，也就是他成为林来疯传奇哦。
All right, now let's go on and take a look at the last paragraph.
好，接下来我们来看到最后一段。
All right, in this final paragraph of the essay, the focus is on Lin being an inspiration.
最后一段呢，我们提到的是林书豪他成为了这个人们的这个一个启发哦。
And so we see phrases like hero and inspiration. Asian Americans felt proud.
我们看到一些句子，像是我们说英雄或者是一个启发人们的灵感亚裔美国人的骄傲。
We also see the phrase Lin continues to inspire.
我们还看到一些句子写到说林书豪持续的去启发别人。
Right. Later, we also see a phrase where Lin is referred to as a hero.
最后呢，我们也还看到他说林书豪呢是鼓舞人心的灵感来源。
And so then being a hero is similar to being an icon.
好，那成为这样子的一个英雄呢，其实就跟他当偶像是一样的意思哦。
Right. Another theme that we see here is that it talks about the hard work that Jeremy Lin continues to put in.
好，那当然我们也可以看到的呢，就是林书豪他的一直不断的这样子的一个努力的过程。
And so as we go down to the end, the very concluding part of the essay, it says that Lin shows us how his hard work and drive to improve can lead to success.
好，那因此呢，我们在整篇文章的最后一段的几乎是最后的地方，我们看到了林书豪说他是怎么样的努力然后去达成他的目标。
Finally, in the last paragraph, Lin's goal is again implied indirectly. So in this paragraph, we see words like led to success, and this is a reference to how Lin reached his goal of playing in the NBA.
最后呢，在这个最后一段的部分，林书豪的目标再一次间接的被提起。在这一段里面呢，他有提到“通向成功”这个词呢，就是关于林书豪达成他目标的一个证词。
So in addition, the phrase fulfill our dreams in the last sentence of the essay also makes us remember that Lin's true dream in the first paragraph was to play in the NBA.
除此之外呢，完成我们的梦想这一句话也让我们再一次回想起来，在第一段中我们曾经提到林书豪真正的梦想就是为了要再进入美国职篮打球这件事。
And so we can see that the 5 topics or the 5 themes that were mentioned in the thesis statement are important topics that appear all throughout this essay.
好，我们借由刚刚的这样子一个分析呢，我们可以发现，刚刚提到的5个主旨它的确在这整个文章之中呢，不断的是贯穿着的。
And so to be an effective writer, you need to use your words well. You need to figure out what are you going to put into your thesis statement, and then you need to write about all of those topics.
好，那身为一个好的写作者呢，你应该要学会使用文字，代表着呢，你要把你的每一个字在这个主旨论述的时候呢，你都要让它有自己的意义然后让它呢具备它的价值。
All right, so now let's go on and talk about what we want you to do for your homework.
好，那接下来呢，我们来为各位同学讲解一下这个礼拜各位同学要做什么样的写作实习呢？
And so, first of all, there are some rhetoric exercises in your book. And if you listen to the radio show, we spend some time discussing the rhetoric part. And so, listen to the radio show and then do the rhetoric exercises.
好，那各位同学呢，首先会发现在作业里面呢，有一个部分是请各位同学再一次练习修辞的技巧的。那这个部分其实我跟郑老师在广播节目中已经做了解释那请各位同学除了要听广播之外呢，自己呢也要试着去把这个练习做出来。
And then also do the writing activity in which we ask you to plan and write your own essay about a person.
好，那当然你的这个写作实习的部分呢，也要完成去写作一个你自己想要描述的人。
Thanks for joining us this week for English composition, and we'll be back again next week.
好，那感谢各位同学今天的参与，我们下个礼拜呢再见。